Let's turn to the advisory with a focus on retirement bonuses. What are they, particularly from a tax point of view, and who's eligible? Well, for more, we're joined by Roger Perrett from Freshwater Wealth. Roger, good to see you again.
Thanks, Andrew. Good to be here.
All right, so what is it? What is a retirement bonus? Sounds great.
Yeah, it does sound good, and there's a few names for them: retirement bonus or balance booster. But effectively, what it is a refund for unnecessarily capital gains tax that super funds provide. So they're sort of almost taxing the member unnecessarily, but then giving it back and making it sound pretty good, like you're getting a bonus. So that's it. So maybe I'll explain a little bit more, how it comes about. In super, there's effectively two phases. We call one accumulation, for all those years you're putting money in, and the other phase when you retire, and we call that pension phase, where you're taking money out. You're spending it. That's exactly right. Yeah, right. And the tax is different. On the accumulation fund, the capital gains tax is effectively 10%. And in pension phase, it's zero. Now, a lot of funds don't actually charge you the capital gains tax when you're moving from accumulation phase to pension, say when you retire, but some funds do. They force you to basically pay that capital gains tax unnecessarily when you're moving from accumulation to pension. And then what they do is they then offer you this as a retirement bonus, as a partial refund for that unnecessary tax.
So partial, not fully.
It's not full. It's partial.
But not all are doing this.
Not all super funds do this, so it's something to be really mindful of for sure.
And do you actually have to go to them, or will they, actually come to you and say, "Well, here you go, here's your bonus. thanks for copping up earlier." Yeah,
so generally they will, but there are a number of criteria. So it's very easy to actually lose that retirement bonus, and I don't think, I certainly have an experience where they'll warn you and tell you you're about to miss out, or if you sort of breach their rules, if you like. So yeah.
All right. So when you look at that bonus versus the tax you saved, I mean, what's the differential there?
Yeah. So in my experience, if someone had like a $500,000 super fund, it's generally about 0.5 to 0.7%. So it's around about sort of like $1,500 to $3,000 that the member may get as a retirement bonus. But if you could compare that to someone who'd been, that same person who'd been investing in super for 30 years with a balance, they could have a capital gain of 80, 100,000. Do you know what I mean? They could be saving, like $10,000 in tax, yet they're only getting like 3,000 back as the retirement. So, it's certainly something to be mindful of.
All right. So, are there any catches in terms of eligibility?
Yeah, there are, absolutely. So you'd think they'd just give you the tax back. They shouldn't have charged you. But a lot of these funds do have requirements. So one of them is if a member changes their investments, it resets it, or in some cases, let's just say you're nearing retirement and you think, oh, maybe I'll go a little bit more conservative and change my fund. You could just knock yourself out because you've changed the investment, so you then forego the retirement bonus. There's another one which is a bit of a catch. If you're with one provider for those accumulating years and then you decide to retire and move to another provider, you can then forego the retirement bonus. They're almost using it as a retention strategy to make sure that you stay with them in retirement. So there's a couple of catches there if you move or change the investments.
Are there a particular type of super fund that does this?
Yeah, so there's probably like the three super funds. So one, they don't charge you, and there's plenty of platforms like that, like BT Panorama, Hub24, etc. They don't charge people from when they retire, moving from accumulation to pension. There are a number of funds who do charge, but then refund. So some big names like Australian Super, Australian Retirement Trust, Mercer. There are a number of funds that do charge, but then pay this retirement bonus. And then you've also got some other funds who still overcharge you, but then they don't pay you anything.
Great.
And they're funds like Hostplus. So yeah, some big funds there that don't actually give you anything back.
What's the justification for doing that?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's the business model, isn't it?
Yeah, that's their
business. Make more money.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Take more fees as such.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you need to do anything, or is more, as you said, they're going to tap you on the shoulder? What though, if you have an SMSF? How does that work?
Yeah, sure. So the concept still applies. Like, there's no retirement bonus because it's your fund.
It.
Right? You're it. You're not going to pay yourself a bonus. But if you're nearing retirement and you're in accumulation phase and you're considering changing your investments, and they're not really that time critical, it may actually be better for you to defer those the selling of those investments until you move to pension phase. So instead of paying capital gains tax of 10%, you could not pay any capital gains tax, just purely with just getting the timing right. So that's definitely not only self-managed super funds or some of these other platforms, just being really conscious of when you sell investments so you don't have to pay this tax unnecessarily.
Is that, I mean, among your clients, is that well known, that sort of basic rule that you've got to wait until you're actually in the pension phase?
Oh no, not at all. I've had numerous clients come to me and and they weren't aware because what we may do is they may just want to stay with their existing fund and get the bonus, but in some cases they actually want to move, and they say, well, what do we do? We're going to miss out.
Oh, okay.
So you may actually better to stay with the provider, get the bonus. And then move to the super fund after you've collected the bonus, so you don't miss out or forgo that bonus. So that's another strategy people can use.